Good morning. JRB here, JRB Restorations. Today we're going to talk about Porsche Cayennes. I have a 2014 Porsche Cayenne S. It is now going on 13 years of age, 150,000 miles. I do perform all of the maintenance myself on it. It spent the first few years under warranty being done by the selling dealership. But then after that, I've been taking care of things. A couple of years ago, I'm going to say about 5 years ago, I had a little issue where water was coming into the Cayenne on the passenger side rear, dripping down onto the side window. It traveled down behind the little panel back there and onto the wiring harness for the Bose amplifier. The amplifier was starting to make some buzzing and popping noises, and even when the car was off, you would hear the subwoofer coming on or turning off. It was kind of crazy. That's when I noticed, well, the headliner was a little wet back there too, and a little disappointed because apparently I have missed some maintenance that I should have been doing all along. These Cayennes have an issue with the drains clogging up, specifically the drains in the cowl up in the front by the windshield, and also the drains that go for the sunroof. There are 4 drains for the sunroof, 2 in the front and 2 going towards the back. And I have a panoramic roof on this, which makes it a little more difficult to see where that drain is in the back. If it's a regular sunroof, when you open the sunroof up, you can look at the back there and see exactly where the holes are where it drains. The front drains are very easy to find. They're on each side of the windshield, right at the A-pillar. And I take a little bottle of water and just kind of let it run down there, and then it drips right out the bottom of the vehicle, which is great. The back ones follow along the top of the roof, and they go all the way back down to some holes that are in the floor. And ever since that happened and I cleaned them all out, it was fine. And then I missed my drain cleaning procedure last year. Just slipped by, and I'm paying for it now. This can be an expensive thing to happen to your Cayenne because those Bose amplifiers are pretty expensive, and Porsche mounted it right where, if the sunroof drains back up, it drips directly down onto the plug, and it can short out your amp. Mine did not short out. It has had plenty of green crusties in there. I've had to take a lot apart, as I will show you through this video. But I just want to let y'all know that, and I know there probably are some other videos out there on YouTube showing the issues that drains can have in a Cayenne, and I'm going to show you the spots where you need to really be looking in your Cayenne, because you do not want to take apart what I had to take apart. So stick with me. Here we are looking under the hood of my 2014 Cayenne S 4.8 liter V8. Love this thing. It's my daily driver. What can I say about it? It's just a wonderful vehicle to drive. Underneath here and on the other side are 2 large drain areas directly down here. In order to get to them, what I end up doing is I end up taking off all of my plastic panels and covers. This plastic cover, this rubber right here, and right here all this comes out. There's a tray up under here to catch water. That comes out. And you can look down there with a flashlight and you will see leaves and pine straw and dirt, etc. And if you keep looking down there, you will actually see the drain. Vacuum that out, blow it out. If the water backs up into there, it can back up into the interior of the vehicle. And on a Cayenne, it goes down underneath the sill plate, underneath here, because it is pretty hollow up underneath here and in this channel, and on the driver's side also. And remember, on a Cayenne, your battery sits up under your driver's seat. You do not want to let all that wiring sit in water. So those are for the cowl drains. The sunroof drains, okay? We'll take a look at the ones you can see and then at the ones you cannot see. Sunroof is open. You can see it's panoramic sunroof. You will not see the rear drains, okay? They sit way down in here, all the way at the back. The front drains sit right there. I don't know if you can see in there. Let me get my camera adjusted. It is right. Let me get my finger down in here. It is so hard to see with the camera, but it is right down in the corner there. And there is one on the other side too. I just cannot get the camera down in there to be able to see it very well. But believe me, they are there. That is the sunroof drain. There is one on each side at the front. Taking my finger, if I can get in there. That, right there. And then we pour water down into the channel here. That water goes straight down and drains straight out the bottom of the vehicle. So follow along, and we'll take apart the back, take a look at the damage that was done and the mess it made of my headliner. But what are you gonna do? The amplifier's fine. I cleaned up all the connections on there. I used some dielectric compound. It's just that Porsche put it in a spot that is just very prone to dripping of water when your sunroof drains clog up. So stay tuned and watch along as I take apart everything and show you what it looks like and how I took care of it. Here we have my 2014 Porsche Cayenne S. Got about 150,000 miles on it now. Wonderful vehicle. Absolutely wonderful. That 400 horse V8, all-wheel drive. What can I say about it? I just love this vehicle. What we are looking at right now is in the back hatch. Okay? And you're starting to notice what's with this headliner here. Yeah. And what's with this bubbling of the headliner here? Yeah. And what's with this headliner right here? Well, your sunroof drains, and this one has a panoramic sunroof. They come from the back of the channel that the sunroof sits in, and they go, whoops, sorry. And they go to these rubber tubes that go all the way down, and drain right through the back floor there to the outside. When they get stopped up, that water will back up all the way up here to where it meets up with the sunroof cassette, and it will drip. and it drips right down your inside window, directly down here, and runs along the wiring to your Bose amplifier. Check this out. Green crusties. Water has been dripping down right into this plug from this window up here. Green crusties. This is, of course, the wire that plugs into your tweeter that sits back here. So you have to take all this stuff apart to get to it. Dry it out. It smells awful in here. The water, I'm going to have to stop this right now, and I'm going to turn on my, my light on my camera. Okay, we're back. The water will end up right down in here. And there's the side of the vehicle, and you can see there is the drain hose coming down. And it soaks everything down in here, okay? Right down in there. And then where it travels next, I'm gonna pause again. Where it travels next is down here where all your tools sit. Air compressor sits here in little plastic containers and everything. Your tools. Over here is where your jack sits. This is where your spare tire sits on top of your Bose subwoofer. And all this gets all wet and smelly and moldy. Yeah, this is not fun. This is not fun at all. The amp still works. Subwoofer still works. It was starting to make some crackling noises, and I'm going to do a close-up on my plug. Look at the green crusties. That is not good. And if you look down into where it plugs in, into the amplifier, I'm hoping I can show you that. Look at the green crusties in there. Yeah, not good at all. So, spread out here, this is the back panel, which covers all of it. I have tools. I have the back tailgate carpet guard. This is all the stuff that's up underneath there. All this has to come out, okay? It is not an easy procedure. Okay, there is a lot of plastic in here. This is a mess. Here I'm looking. Of course, I've got the panel up here. This little electrical plug is for where it says Cayenne S on my sill plate that lights up. This is this right here. We got this here. This is not good. This is just not good at all. So, my plan of action, and the water would drip right down in here and drip right down. This foam panel just absorbs all that moisture, and it smells. And I'm allergic to mold. And we've got to fix this. I'm going to take you around, and I'm going to show you up under the vehicle in just a minute to where those drain tubes come out under the back of the vehicle. There are drains at the front of the sunroof too, and they drain down through the cowl and straight down the bottom. That's an easy one. That's an easy one to clean out. But when you've got a panoramic sunroof, this part moves. This part is stationary. The tube for the drain is probably attaching somewhere right under here. So I'm gonna have to open this up. I'm gonna try and blow some air through it. I'm gonna try and use some weed eater line. Got to clean that out. And just a minute, I'm gonna get under the vehicle and let me show you these drains. We are under the passenger side rear. There is your muffler. Okay, there's your exhaust tips. Right up in here. Do you see that black device? That rubber thing right there. That is the drain. Notice that mine does look open because a couple of years ago, like 5 years ago, I actually cut that to keep it open because it's like a little, it looks like a duck bill, and it squeezes together and just stops itself up and just makes a mess. I got scissors and I cut that free so that that would drain all the time, but it's still clogged up. And there is one on the opposite side of the vehicle in the exact same place on the driver's side. This is where I'm going to blow some air up into. This is where I'm going to try and run some weed eater line up into there. You got to be real careful. You don't want to put anything up into there that's going to end up breaking the rubber hose on the inside of the vehicle, which is the drain. Luckily, this vehicle was, made in October of 2013. So it's not that old, and those rubber hoses up in there, everything looks fine. But guaranteed, there is something stuck up inside this drain and not allowing the sunroof to drain. When I was washing it the last time, the front drains were just pouring water out, and the back ones were just kind of dripping slowly. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I'm going to have to look into that. And then, well, you know how it goes. Things come up, you forget about it, and then all of a sudden one day you walk in the vehicle and you go, what is that horrible smell? Well, that's mold. Okay, we're back on it this morning. You can see things look a little different in here. Oh, those are two bolts, big old bolts right there, and there is a passenger rear seat unbolted from the floor, moved out of the way. I have cleaned out sunroof drains. Unfortunately, I had some issues with my headliner here because it got wet. It's been re-glued. It's not fantastic, but it's going to do. I am now reinstalling the inside panels. And just so everyone knows, this first big panel right here is the first one that goes in, okay? But we need to back step just a little bit to see what is involved. As you can see, this panel comes out. The panels on each side of your back cover come out. This is where the sill sits. This is the seat belt, the shoulder belt, which bolts right here. There is no way to get that bolt out without moving your rear seat, okay? To remove the rear seat, you can get very easily to the back two bolts. You can't get to the front ones. Okay. That is the upper shoulder belt cover, which fits right there. This is the cover that fits down where the seat belt, the shoulder belt bolts down. That actually will go here eventually. But in order to do all of this, by the way, these are the bolts for the seat belt anchor, okay? That goes right down here, okay? Right down in there. These are the bolts that hold the seat frame down, and those are not Allen's. Let's come over here and show you what I'm using. That is actually an M10 12 point. A lot of things in a Cayenne use these, specifically when you have to take out the driver's seat to put in a new battery. So yeah, it's an M10, and they look like this. Make sure that when you put that down into the bolt, make sure there's no crud down in there so it grips and holds nicely. But let's go back to, you have to take off and move this seat frame off the floor. And by the way, I'll get into that in a minute. This is the seat bottom. Okay? There are two, I'm sorry with the camera, guys, gals. See these two hooks? They fit down into the frame of the seat, okay? And you look up under the front of the seat when you got it back there, and you will see those things, and it's a little plastic device, and you pop them up a little bit. Some people just rip them right out. They just grab onto the seat and just kind of crank it up, and of course you could mess it up. I use a screwdriver, and it pops up very easily. You have to unplug. Since I have heated rear seats, there are two connectors that have to plug in. Let's move that out of the way. This is the seat frame. Those are the plugs for the airbag, the yellow one, and then the two others are for the seat heaters, okay? And anyway, you take out the front two bolts. But do you see these little devices right here? That's where the metal hook fits in that's on the seat cushion. And there are my bolts for the front of the seat. And then I just moved it forward, which gave me perfect room to undo the shoulder belt bolt on the bottom and then get all the panels out. But now I'm putting them all back in. Other pieces that go back in, you can see there's that piece that's going to be going in. That's the second piece that goes in, okay? First is the big panel. Second is that one. The third one will be this cover right here that covers up this section right there, okay? Just take your time. As you can see, stuff is kind of course, this is mixed in with 911 parts here too. But you can see all the stuff that had to come out. Here is the sill plate, which that's the rear sill pit plate right there with its electrical connector that sits on the floor. This goes on the B pillar, and then everything just kind of clips back into place. But it's going back together well. I'm hoping that I got the drains completely cleaned. I am going to use some what do I use? I'm sorry. This has just been exasperating. Before I put it all back together, I am going to lubricate the sliding area of the sunroof, and I use Mercedes-Benz sunroof grease, which is the best stuff in the world. It comes in a little container, and it lasts forever. But I'm gonna get back to it, and I'll show you what she looks like when she's all back together. By the way, as I said before, make sure your sunroof drains are clear every year. Then you won't have to do this. Unfortunately, this era of Cayenne had an issue with drains clogging up. and it can cause and wreak a lot of damage. Okay, we're back. Everything is put back together the way it was. Is it perfect? Well, it doesn't leak anymore, so I would say that's perfect. But as you can see right there, that is the headliner, which has shrunk. The headliner had actually come loose from here, because I swear the Germans use a glue that is very recyclable. And yes, my Cayenne lives outside, parked in the driveway. You can see the other side where the headliner has shrunk, and also how it's kind of puffy right here. I think it's just crappy glue. But there's nothing I can really do about that. I am not going to be pulling a headliner on this vehicle. It is 13 years old, has 150,000 miles on it. I absolutely love it. It is my daily driver. And like I said, it lives outside. I've got everything put back together. It went together well. Headliner is not perfect at all, but there's nothing I can do. All the panels are back in. They all went back in very nicely. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. You have to figure what has to come off first before you can take off the next piece. But take your time. Don't break anything. And I think she's just fine. No leakage, because I know that for a fact, because I just came out here and washed it and let the garden hose run on it, and there was not a drop inside. Everything looks good. So that's what happens. Her 13-year-old Cayenne, this was built October of 2013, that lives outside, and the drains do get stopped up. So look at your drains, look up under the vehicle when it rains. Make sure that your drains are not clogged. If you take it to the Porsche dealer for service, that should be one of the things they should be doing every time they do a maintenance on your vehicle, like an annual maintenance. I don't know, in my early days, if the Porsche dealer actually did that. And I'm learning I don't think they did. And I was lax in not cleaning out my drains in maybe 2 years. That's a terrible thing to say, but it's the way it works. And hope you enjoyed the video. Next thing, it's going back into my shop, and it's going to be oil change and filter, and also I'm going to be changing my transfer case fluid. And oh, and I'm going to change my pollen filter too. It's time. And no, I do not change my oil once a year or every 10,000 miles. I change my oil in this vehicle every 5,000 miles. I want this to last. And Porsche does recommend once a year or 10,000 miles. And I think that is way too long, especially in the hot, sunny, southern United States. But for an old Cayenne S, she's a great vehicle. She's not gonna leak anymore. And I'm gonna write this date on a calendar, because next year, at the end of pollen season, it'll be time for cleaning out the drains again. Thanks for watching.